John, rising star in the life sciences sector, Spirit of Scotland Award, was that a high point of last year?
I suppose it probably was really. I think we had a very successful year. Obviously the year started with us receiving the Scottish Enterprise Award for Best New Life Sciences Company. We were quite fortunate in that coincided with us raising an additional £2 million of investment. That was back in February, so that was a really good start to the year, and it's basically sort of gone on from there. You know, we've been very busy, very active. We've been doing a lot of commercial activity at the moment. Our commercial director, Karen Jervis, has had a great year. She's been really pushing ahead with activities for the company. And I think, yeah, that was a really good ending for the year, that obviously we got this, I was actually on holiday in Florida, and I got an email through about this award, and I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was, a piece of nonsense actually, and I kind of pretty much ignored it. And then it was only really when I got back I actually discovered that, well, actually this is something quite prestigious. This is, really quite good. So, yeah, to be nominated was great. I didn't really expect to win it, so to win it as well was just sort of icing on the cake. So yeah, it's been a really positive year for Big DNA. Thanks very much.
How important is it to the company that you're in a place like Roslin Biocentre?
I think for us it was absolutely vital, because when we first set up about 3 years ago, we really had very little money. As I mentioned earlier on, we've raised money in the intervening period, so we're reasonably well off now. So we can go and buy our own autoclaves. We can buy our own centrifuges. These things cost a lot of money. But when we first set up, we had a very small seed corn investment, essentially £200,000. Had to pay for 3 members of staff. It had to pay for all our rent, and so essentially we had no spare money at all. So, to set up in a completely empty facility, it would have been impossible to us, because we had really very little equipment. We managed to beg, steal and borrow equipment from the Morden Research Institute, which is where we spun out of. That was a fantastic sort of asset for us. Also, we managed to buy second-hand equipment from various places, but all of the large pieces of equipment and facilities that a life sciences company requires, we pretty much had them on site here. So there was a wash-up, there was distilled water, there was a kitchen, there's a meeting room, there's all the audio-visual equipment that companies need. And I think without that, it would have been essentially impossible for us to set up, because we went and looked at several locations and they were essentially just empty shells. And it's fine to have an empty shell if you're a big company with a lot of money, but if you're a startup, what you specifically want is laboratories which are fully equipped. And I've said this several times before, but the Roslin Biocentre was really the only place that we could have moved to in this location, in the sort of central Scotland. Otherwise, we'd have probably had to go down south. So I think it was absolutely essential for us to find a location like this, and we were fortunate enough to do so.
What do you think the future holds for Big DNA?
As a company, we're obviously involved in trying to do as many commercial deals as possible. We've already been very active in that area, and what that means is that we're trying to look much more broadly than just Scotland now. Obviously Scotland is our base, but most of the companies that we work with, in fact just about every company that we work with, is abroad, whether it's in sort of mainland Europe. We work with companies in Germany, we work with Chinese organisations, work with organisations in the United States, so it's very much sort of international, our focus now, and I think that's something that we're really going to be trying to concentrate on in the next couple of years, and try and build the company up so it's into a position where we've got products which are very nearly at the stage of getting out into the marketplace. And we're actively working in both the human and the animal vaccine space, so there's going to be a lot of activity going on, and hopefully we'll continue to do well and grow in the intervening period.